Are you a movie buff? Do you love dissecting and analyzing your favorite films? Look no further than the Projection Booth podcast. Join host Mike White and a bevy of guest experts as they explore the history, themes, and legacy of cult classics, obscure gems, and mainstream hits. Join us every week for a unique and engaging look at your favorite movies. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and tune in to the Projection Booth podcast, available on all major podcast platforms.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, creeps. It's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Chronicles from the Crypt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Father Malone. With me, as always, is Casualty Chris Stashu.
So
we're talking Tales from the Crypt, baby.
Oh my God.
The HBO television series that ran from 1999 to 2012.
Oh God, boy. What? No. 2012. So if it ran that long, boy, can you imagine what those seasons would look like? Dear.
You know what? If it started later and the talent that ended up there were never part of the equation, it could have been good for 12 seasons.
Do you think it's like a Simpsons thing where instead of going like this, it went down first and then came back up?
Yeah, I think if it had been given a chance where people who had been influenced by it got to do one, it would have been great. Yeah.
And then you look at The Last Jedi and say, maybe that argument doesn't work well.
No, that's just they picked the wrong guy. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. But look, this is the final episode of this podcast, which to me is kind of nuts because I had started this podcast so very long ago, I believe sometime in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the podcast that I started that I got to talk to Bill Sadler. I didn't talk to Bill Sadler for a movie. I talked to Bill Sadler for this podcast. This was the first episode I ever did. The first show I ever did.
Today's his birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? That's awesome.
71 today.
What? You know what? We'll talk about Bill Sadler because I know we're both going to mention something about Bill Sadler at some point. But he was the first person I ever talked to in the industry, like ever interviewed seriously, and it was intimidating. And I think I'm not intimidated now by it as much as I was then, but at the same time, this was kind of the podcast that if you've been listening to this podcast at all, you know that there have been times, and maybe you don't know this, given kind of the way I've retconned the old stuff out of existence. And I had to, and we did together, you and I did, Father Malone. But I started this podcast with a different host in 2015. And then
lesser host.
Well, he wasn't a lesser host. You can throw shade all you fucking like.
I will, because this is my show now, baby.
It's true. You never met the other person. This was long before.
No, I did. I'm joking.
But they could be for all you know. But to your point, I started it, and then that person ended up leaving the Culture Cast, so he didn't want to do this anymore. I understand if you don't have time for that. How are you going to have time for this? And then it just kind of laid dormant for a while, and then you and I became friends. And then you and I finally got on a podcast together, 4 months after, initial emailing.
About that. Yeah.
Which the movie that we talked about the first time was Casino.
Sure was.
And now we're
but it was supposed to be Conan the Barbarian.
It sure was.
And I'm still rankling that I didn't get to talk about Conan the Barbarian.
That's fair. I don't blame
such
you.
a great film.
I don't think we ever did a podcast on it though. So
let's just talk about that.
As opposed to this. This is the secret Conan the Barbarian podcast in a random Tales from the Crypt episode.
Slipped it in there.
But then you and I became friends. Jesus Christ. And, after we became friends and you were on the podcast a couple times, and then, I came to visit, and we didn't start Chronicles until after I visited you the first time.
Right.
Because we recorded an episode together in person the last time I saw you in 2018, 2019 at this point.
2019.
God damn, dude. Because 2020 is a year that we'll never forget, but all want to.
It doesn't kind of exist, honestly.
It kind of doesn't. Like, when you tell someone, like the gentleman I'm working for now, when I told him that he had done some work in 2018 for the project we're working on, he was like, holy shit, really? And I was like, yeah, it was like 3 fucking years ago. Like, everybody kind of forgets about 2020. I don't know why. I guess we're forcing ourselves to. But when we initially met, I had no preconceived notions that we would ever do a podcast together. And then Tales from the Crypt kind of presented itself, and you and I, and this is again kind of behind the scenes stuff here before we talk about the episode, you had actually come on to you and I to finish the show.
Right.
And it was
we started in season 5, like
Oil's
Well,
that ends
well.
The John Kassir interview episode, as I like to call it, because that's where I put the interview that I got with John Kassir. Again, and that was, look, for me, this podcast will always be, this is the only Tales from the Crypt podcast that has John Kassir doing the intro. Please tell me how this isn't the only Tales from the Crypt podcast you want to listen to.
If they're listening to this one, they've been listening.
Yeah, it's true.
So
to be fair,
you don't need to upbraid them. It's
That's
all
fair.
the other morons.
That's fair. But, and look, I've never listened to the other Tales from the Crypt podcast, at least not recently. So
I did.
I know you did. And that's you. You have your opinion. I think you've said it a couple times before, and I know you're not a fan. I've never listened, so I can't give my opinion. It's not that I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to throw anything
No.
under the bus kind of a situation. Like, look, their podcasts are garbage. That's just a fact. But
hey, look, you know what? Ultimately, the thing that cracks me up is that day you and I got together to record that episode. We both essentially had the same conclusion at the end of it. We were like, what are we doing if we don't just, or maybe you didn't have that conclusion.
I didn't. You proposed
did
it.
not.
I was ready to sort of finish it out with you. Like, I thought, yeah, okay, I can sort of,
you didn't have like
jump
even a
in
hope
here.
that you would want to like redo the entire show. I guess I didn't really put it on the table though, did I?
No, you didn't. I mean, you were like, hey, let's do this. And if that works, then let's finish it out. And that is kind of how I had set my mind to it. But I did jump at the chance to reevaluate this series.
And we did.
Once, yeah, I mean, here we are. So.
And what did we calculate it? It's like 3. Well, if it was sometime, so let's see. So we recorded that episode in like April of 2019, right? Yeah. And I visited you in July of 2018. So sometime between July 2018 and April 2019, we recorded that episode, and then we restarted the show. I don't remember exactly when. I'm sure I could look on my Spreaker account. But we're here now. So it's been about 2 years.
Yeah. And here we are.
It feels, you said this before we started, it feels rather ignominious.
Oh, I think if you've listened to any of the episodes for this season, you will know full well our opinion on the way this show exited stage left.
Do you want to know the day our first episode went up? You want to take a guess? I have it in front of me.
Sometime long ago.
July 16th, 2018.
It's like 3 years, man.
I know. That's how long it's taken to get through this show.
Good Lord.
I know.
It's too much.
It's
too much energy.
You put too much time into this show, guys.
Yeah,
but we're here at the end. And it's the final episode of the show. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about the show as a whole. And I'll finally get to talk about what the fuck? The kids show.
Tales from the Crypt Keeper?
The Crypt Keeper.
The hidden mysteries of the lost temple of the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, but let's talk about the final actual canonical episode of the show.
Must we?
The third pig.
Son of Dracula. Return of the Son of Dracula. The son of Dracula's revenge? Is that all you can do? Vampire movies? I'm afraid that's not good enough. You'd have to be a bite more versatile to be on the fighting staff of Tales from the Crypt. Oh, hello, creeps. As you can see, we've got an opening for a storied editor. I've been conducting chop interviews all morning. No one seems to get what I'm looking for. Oh well, let's see who's next. Interesting. A brother team. Grim. I think I've heard of them. This has potential, boils and ghouls. It's a twisted bit of gory telling about 3 characters you may recognize at first. It's called The Third Pig.
So this is the last time I get to do this. It's a little sad for me. So it is. This has been a journey. This has been, if I had finished this would have been the first podcast I finished, not Kolchak. This would have wrapped up before Kolchak if it had been finished, when I had started it. So this is kind of this is my first, my podcast to finish, mine, and became ours. I mean, obviously I don't have this podcast. No. This podcast is as much yours as it is mine, because my opinion is a little bit more positive sometimes than yours is, but your opinion's a little bit more positive than mine is sometimes. So yeah, we balance each other out, and I couldn't do this by myself. I would hate to do podcasting by myself, but it is right. Ooh, it's really fun. But yeah, so it's just a little sad because, this is the last time I get to talk about who directed it. So who directed it? Bill Kopp, Patrick Ventura. It's written by Steve Dodd and Bill Kopp. It has a bunch of voices in it. Bobcat Goldthwait is one of them. Cam Clark, Charlie Adler, Brad Garrett, Corey Burton.
Everybody loves Brad Garrett.
I do love Brad Garrett, but
he's good. He's really good. Did you see him in the newest season of Penny Dreadful, City of Angels? He played like a Jewish gangster, and he was great. And not only that, go back and watch, if you haven't seen it, there was a Showtime series. It only ran for 2 seasons called I'm Dying Up Here, about the LA comedy scene in the mid to late 70s. And he plays a sort of Jerry Lewis type washed out guy. And I think he's only in it for maybe 1 episode, perhaps 2. And he's a revelation. More
so than he is on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah. Because you look at him and you know that he can be funny. I mean, he's just sort of naturally that way.
Sure.
But this was not a comedic performance. It was a serious thing, and he fucking nailed it. I now I want to go watch that
as opposed to this.
Because anything could be better than this, but yeah.
So this episode, and I'm not joking. I know if you're listening to this, you probably have watched the show. If you're listening to this, I look, either you like the show, have interest in the show, or just listening to this because you like the way our voices sound, which is a thing. Hey, you know what?
That's true in my case.
All 3. But this is an episode that is the 3 little pigs told in the, I would say Klasky Suspo, but it's not art style. It's I forget the name of the guy who did Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, Klasky Supo is as good a depiction or description of the animation style here. I would call it Spike and Mike fucking reheated special from the mid-90s. Spike and Mike, the twisted animation festivals that they would put out, they were wildly popular sort of in the underground scene, and I think everyone was trying to get a piece of it. But yeah, definitely Ren and Stimpy would end up setting the tone for everything, and including the sort of level of humor on display here, just not as smart.
I was going to say Ren and Stimpy is smarter than this.
Oh, by leagues and bounds. This reminds me, there was a short film, an animated film called Lupo the Butcher. And if you haven't seen it, Chris, you should see it. It's probably on YouTube right now.
Is it better than this?
Oh my God, yeah.
Then I'm sold.
Yeah, I would say that this entire episode was based on these guys seeing that and going, we have to do something like that. Except Lupo the Butcher is about maybe 2 minutes, and it is fucking genius and includes all of the sort of gross out kind of humor that these guys were going for, but does it eloquently and economically. I I hated this episode.
I'm so bummed out.
I hated this episode.
I'm so bummed out that I'm in the same camp as you.
Yeah, right. I mean,
look, here's the thing. Like we have had such a bone to pick with this show, doing the same thing over and over and over, to the point now where it's like an in-joke in this podcast. Like they're doing it again. Yeah. They're doing it again. And this is like the first time in a long time, almost in like a season maybe, where I'm like, this is genuinely fucking bizarre. This is so weird. And it strikes all the right idea notes in my mind of like a retelling of a classic story in an interesting way, in a subversive way that only Tales from the Crypt could pull off, quote unquote, given it's an anthology show.
On paper,
just like communism, works great. This is the
perfect Tales from the Crypt episode, and in action, it's not the worst.
No, if not by a long shot, but it feels like it could be in the conversation for it.
And you know what? Like I say this a lot, and I'm saying it again, but like because we watched 2 episodes usually to evaluate, we got very used to comparing episodes. Now, this is the capper of the worst season of the show.
Without a doubt, the worst season of the show.
So by that very nature, it had the potential, even if it was competent, to be like a revelation this season.
Yeah.
It's so much a part of what we've already received that I can't even be depressed about it anymore. It's just like, here we go again.
And this is the first ostensibly American episode of the season. It's the final American episode of the show. We didn't realize that we realized, but we didn't make a big deal about the last episode was the final British episode of the show.
Yeah.
But this is the final American.
Mercifully.
This is the final American episode of the show. And it's what to say? It's a big bad wolf story with the Crypt Keeper as the narrator and Bobcat Goldthwait as the big bad wolf. And I mean, you have Cam Clark and Charlie Adler doing kind of, generic voices, and Brad Garrett's just kind of doing like a pared down, like a toned down, more kind of drunken, slovenly version of his own voice, but you clearly know it's Brad Garrett. Like Brad Garrett and Patrick Warburton are some of the only actors where it's like, you hear their voice, you know who it is. You have someone like Dan Castellaneta or Julie Kavner, who their normal voices kind of sound like the characters in the show and The Simpsons, but they can still change it enough where you're maybe, if you ever met them on the street, you'd be like, oh, hi, not think anything of it. But like Brad Garrett or Patrick Warburton, if you heard them in a store, you would know who it is. If you were bagging their groceries and you didn't look up and you heard "thank you," you'd be like, "Fucking, there's the tick right there." Yeah,
they're not versatile voice actors.
No, but that's not a bad
these
thing.
Two. No, not at all, because their voices are so goddamn interesting that no matter what character they're going to play, I'm going to buy into it.
Yeah, it's like John DiMaggio. It's the same thing. He does Bender. And every other voice that he does is nothing like Bender, but I can hear his voice in every voice that he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which, God bless that he's able to, pitch it in different ways, but like ultimately it's still him. It's not like Mel Blanc where I'm like, wait, he did this and that?
Or
are you crazy?
Or someone who's involved in this episode, Jim Cummings, who I have the utmost respect for, as I'm sure you do. He's, he is the voice of half of the characters in Winnie the Pooh. Right. At least Winnie the Pooh, right? And several other 100 Acre Woods characters. I mean, with Jim Cummings also, I'm trying to there's so many roles that Jim Cummings is known for. He is, again, one of the preeminent voice actors in this country, and he gets involved in this mess.
Yeah.
God,
I'm a huge fan of voice acting in general.
Me too.
So, and I think everyone does a creditable job here. It's just that, like everything we've said all season long, the talent behind the camera and in front of the camera are all done a disservice by a fucking horrible script. And this one in particular, this one drives me crazy as kind of a writer myself, in that if you're going to choose a rhyming meter that you're going to have every character talk in, then fucking do it. don't dick around and give us half rhymes. And I mean, there comes a point where it's like, well, that didn't rhyme, and that's fine to sort of break that rule at that point. It's like to me, free verse poetry. It's like, I'm a poet. I write these things, and I'm like, yeah, okay, write me a sonnet. Like you need to understand the rules of the game before you start breaking them. And
they wanted to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, man. And it's like, it's a children's meter. It's like, it's the easiest thing in the world, and they couldn't even do that.
They couldn't be bothered to do it.
Yeah, it's really offensive. And then on top, like, that's more offensive to me than what they thought they were being like, oh, we're like, aren't we bad boys? Like, we're going to show violence. And, this is Drinky and Smokey, by the way, creative names for the fucking pigs.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we got a drunk. Okay, all right. Well, we don't usually see that in a cartoon. It's like, but I mean, maybe your average HBO viewer was not used to that sort of level of humor and attempt at depravity in cartoons. But for the rest of us, and certainly now, if you're watching it for the first time, like, we've had 30 years since, or 25 years since this episode aired.
Naming things, right?
Yeah, like, there's so much of it, but at the time there wasn't that much of it. But the ones who were doing it, who were pushing boundaries, people like Bill Plimpton and I don't know. There's a ton of. I mean,
to be fair, even those early seasons of The Simpsons were pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, you know what? And like,
more than this is, because this is one time. The Simpsons was sustained. The Simpsons doing what it did had a long-term effect on our culture, like substantial effect, because they pushed the envelope and kept pushing and never took their foot off the gas.
As far as the envelope pushing, when it comes to like animation, like I'm not saying it had all been done. There's always room to grow, but like, Ralph Bakshi existed, man. And he made a whole bunch of movies that were animated that, if you think like something could be shocking in like what's supposed to be a kid's medium, like, he had already done it.
Unfairly labeled as a kid's medium.
Yeah. I mean, but then, that's all media. At one point, comic books were literally for children, but like,
sure. But at some point they're not anymore, and you need to stop pretending like they are.
Right. Like, you're denying the fact that people grew up reading them and they want to continue to read.
Isn't that like what all the ESRB, MPAA, all these assholes are, is just saying, well, this was a kid's thing, but it's not anymore. So now we have to make sure that the kids don't see it.
Yeah, right.
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and this episode just kind of trafficked.
Oh, isn't that crazy? There's blood with animated characters? Not really.
Right.
Like you said, here's the thing. Even with the hindsight that we have in 2021, it still could have been good.
Yeah, it could have been great. There's
Bobcat Goldthwait returning in this fucking show, guys, and you fucked it up. And you fucked it up. You fucked up Bobcat. What are you doing? Bobcat or Goldthwait never hurt anybody.
It's not like he can, sort of improv on set in this one either. It's like, here's the thing, say these things.
And John Kassir is in this episode too. John Kassir is in this whole episode.
Right. Like, so it should be a swan song.
You know what's even more crazy to me? There's a moment in this episode where they go, and then the morning came, and I thought to myself, I was like, and you couldn't have said then came the dawn.
Yeah. Right.
Why not? I mean, like, really, why not turn this episode into like a love letter to the fans of the show in a way too? Motherfuckers, this is 7 seasons of a show. You do have people. Look, there are still people now who have taken umbrage with our opinions in 2021 about the show.
Yeah.
You're still out there. You still hate people hating on the show. If you can't let us be critical of the show, they can't make any more show, because they're just going to come back with this shit again. What do you think M. Night Shyamalan was going to come back with? It was going to be Twilight Zone 2019.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be good.
It's going to be love triangles as far as the eye can see.
It was going to be, no, it's not going to be love triangles. It's going to be twist endings.
Yeah, the twist. The most important part of a Tales from the Crypt comic book, we all know, is the twist.
Yeah.
And not the inherent horror of the situation.
Or the story that's being told up until that point, or the characters or the dialogue or anything else. It's only the twist. Thanks.
And here's another example where it's animated. You can do literally anything, right? I mean, yeah, like, here's the entire world at your fingertips. What do you want to do with it? Well, it's a horror show, but let's not make it horror. Well, let's just sort of run around with the tropes of horror, which is, I think, sort of illustrative of the entire series, where as long as there's some blood and possible nudity and some things like that,
the dummies
good
will
enough.
eat it up.
Yeah, because that's what horror fans will do. And you know what? I'm one of them, and they're right. Unfortunately, like
they're right.
I mean,
but they're right, but they're not.
I'm not gonna revel in it.
Yeah, I know, but they're right, but they're not, because you're sitting here complaining about it, but yet you like it.
I know I like the genre, and I know I like when it's done well.
Yeah.
And I think there's ways to be even sort of tongue in cheek about it that doesn't feel insulting as a horror fan.
No,
this is
an affront. This episode is an affront. This whole season's kind of been
real bad. It's a perfect capper for the season, I guess. Like, I like you. Like, I've enjoyed talking about. No, you shut up. I've been
derailed.
like you, I've enjoyed talking about this show, and I'm a little sad that it there's no more to talk about. But at the same time, this season has been a trial.
Yeah, it's broken me. It kind of has,
to the point where we're gonna do a wrap up here soon and talk about the series on a whole, but like, I don't like, it's sitting on my shelf now, and I'm just like, no,
not again, never again.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a show that maybe not every year, but every couple of years I'd pull out, sort of like wade through the ones I remember liking.
What we should do like 5 years from now is do like we're back for one episode and one episode only, to be like, we watched a couple of the episodes we liked and didn't like, and what are our thoughts now? Do you think our opinions would be different?
No.
I think on some of the halfway in between, halfway horrible ones, halfway horrible, or whatever the fuck that episode was called. I think we might change our opinions a little bit more. But yeah, some of the ones that have been bad have been so definitively bad. So like glaringly, like they took a huge like fucking poker with a period on it and slammed it into your forehead bad. It's like, this is period bad. Like bad with a capital B.
If we took the sort of ones that it would be an interesting experiment if it was shows from the first couple of seasons where you had some heavy hitters, and again, by comparison, I was like, this one was garbage. Like, I could see reevaluating some of those,
like the Amanda Plummer one. I did not like that episode.
Lover Come Hack to Me.
I might like it if I rewatch it now, or the Christmas one, the Santa Claus one.
Yeah, that one you should read.
All Through the House, right?
That one's real good.
I know. You're still not going to let me live that one down. That was 3 years ago, pal.
Oh, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, except, your
opinion's
just makes
wrong.
You look dumb.
Yeah, your opinion's wrong, or it's dumb. I was waiting for it. There's always the but. But to your point, though, like, I genuinely liked talking about this show. Obviously, I've been talking about it for damn near 6 years now. It was a show that a girl that I liked in college, I bought her the entire box set.
Wow.
That's
love.
It was like $20, bro. Get the fuck out of
here. Oh, really? $20?
It's like $20-$30. It was really cheap on Amazon. It was like one of those like red box or gold box deals, bro. Yeah, it was a 2011.
I've been buying them piecemeal like a sucker.
or buying them at all. I don't know why you would be giving HBO money, given that they don't give a shit about this show.
Oh no, I stole them all from my local. No, that's not true.
You steal them all from your local library?
Yeah.
Your library that was stocking Tales from the Crypt?
Oh my God, where
does Father Malone live in some sort of weird universe where the library actually stocks things you want to watch?
Oh, they do. They have Tales from the Crypt here.
Oh, you're fucking.
No, man, on DVD. There's I gotta say, the Las Vegas library system, while maybe not providing the level of books the library should be supplying, their DVD section is quite robust.
You know what they say? The people who live in the sewers underneath Las Vegas, they have DVD players, but they don't have light. So they can't read at night, but they can watch things.
Right. You can watch it. But, the argument can be made that if you would just turn the brightness up on your television, you could probably read.
It's true. But again, I don't know what's more disappointing for me about this episode. Is it that it's the final episode of the show?
No,
does that
actually,
yeah, like
no. It's not that. It's just a fucking atrocious episode where I don't even know what they were trying to do with it, honestly, other than all I can wrap my head around is they thought we're sort of pushing an envelope, or we're like transgressing somehow.
Grimm's fairy tales, dude.
Yeah. And the thing is, you could not be an animator at this point in history and not have had access to the actual button pushing transgressive cinema that was being made in like every, senior thesis class across the United States. They'd seen all of them, and instead of like trying to top them, they just kind of like, skated by on the more surface things about those. I don't know. I don't want to speak for the filmmakers here or anything, but like, shame on you guys for blowing an opportunity.
Do you want to hear a piece of information that is insane to me if it's true?
Yeah.
Jess Harnell was initially cast as the narrator of this episode in a Ringo Starr style voice for this episode.
Would have made it better.
But Joel Silver, although he liked what Jess Harnell had done, said it really should be the Crypt Keeper narrator. Which
is shocking to me because I'm flabbergasted, as a matter of fact, that anyone was still involved at that level.
Right?
Yeah.
Look, Jess Harnell's great. I mean, he plays Wacko in the Animaniacs. He's a great. I mean, that the Wacko character in the Animaniacs is kind of a Ringo Starr thing.
Yeah, it is.
It totally is. And like, if you once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's so obviously Ringo Starr. And like, if he was doing like that voice, it might have worked. But like, again,
no, nothing was going to save us.
But yeah, again, like even the fact that you do, instead of having him do it, you do have John Kassir do it.
It's not a step down. I mean, it's a lateral move. It's one talented passed off to another and should have fomented it. In fact, yeah, if anything, that move should have made the episode better because we got the Crypt Keeper, and it does not.
No,
it does not.
It doesn't at all. And that's the weird thing to me is like, you would think having John Kassir in this episode would make it feel like kind of a send-off. Like, this is kind of a big deal. Like, it's kind of nuts that like, here's the show. It's going out on this wacky animated episode. Like, isn't that kind of crazy? It's kind of fun. And then it's like, no, it's just a complete drag.
And, it takes about probably a year, to do an animated thing. So it's my feeling. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they probably meant this for the previous season. And then once they realized that,
you think so?
Yeah. And I think once they realized that they were getting another season, they thought like, oh, we don't have to rush to get it done. Let me tell you something. If they knew this was the last season and they wanted this as their send off and didn't try and do an episode that was the craziest and all of the characters and all of the situations and everything, and like, here it all is.
Callback. Give the audience what they want.
Yeah.
You're not going to do a Tales from the Crypt story anyways. They literally didn't do a Tales from the Crypt story anyway. So what?
End the series.
Yeah,
they did an original.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It kind of feels like the biggest kick in the cock of all. Like the ultimate, like it's just, and they're just squaring up with your dick and they just kick your dick right the tip so hard. And that's what this feels like. This feels like the ultimate in dick kick, because it's like, no, it's because you haven't adapted the show most of the fucking show. You haven't adapted the source material most of the time anyways. They were doing, shock suspense and two-fisted fucking tales and other shit. It's like, and now you're going to do an original, and it's not even going to be like a Crypt Keeper original story or a story with characters from the other episodes. Like, no, it's just the most bullshit Grimm's fairy tale for the, the hip 90s, we don't give a fuck era. And it doesn't even work. There should have been a "you got mail" joke in this fucking episode, and it would have been it would have been perfect. It would have been like, this is the quintessential 90s, mid 90s bullshit.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand. Like, we're that close. We're that close. We really are.
Yeah. Didn't like the character design, didn't like the writing, didn't like the animation style.
Do you know who did the animation? Do you know who did the animation? The same company that did Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, I'm sure, but that was at least the characters' designs were better. Like, they were
not the Crypt Keeper.
No, but what are you going to do? It's for kids.
Not make him look like a purple or I guess he's like a green puddle with a purple cape.
Why even have him? What are they doing?
I don't know. Was he voiced by John Kassir?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I just remember how bad the show is.
Once again, the idea that Joel Silver like had a hand in this episode, like it has felt like this was a rudderless ship for.
We talked about that on the last episode.
Yeah, 2 seasons. So like, I'm like, oh, well, somebody was doing something. I guess.
Look at that. Maybe
there's that. I'm gonna take that away as a positive.
Maybe David Geiler was in there with him, making some decisions. I'm stealing this episode. It's mine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my name on it. It's okay.
So I think we're both in agreement. This episode is a skip.
Yeah, it's trash. Don't watch it. Go watch Lupo the Butcher. Honestly, everybody, it's fucking hilarious.
Go watch anything else.
Yeah.
So, Father Malone, we're about to do it. We're about to do the whole show wrap up.
Yes.
But before we do that, we have to talk about season 7.
Okay.
Which of the season 7 episodes might you revisit? That's how we're ranking this one. None.
Yeah. I mean,
none. Zero.
Let me
zero is a pretty big number.
Yeah, let me actually like sort of think about it. Yeah, no, none. 0. I'm good. That was that.
Really?
It's only going to kind of disappoint me further knowing the talent involved. Like I was excited knowing the talent involved when I went into it, and all of those hopes were dashed. So now it'll just feel like an extra slap in the face.
So to your point,
yeah,
Eddie Izzard,
yeah,
Kieran Hines,
yes.
I almost would say that episode.
Yeah, if you put a gun to my head and said watch one, that's the one I'm watching.
But then I think about what you just said, and I don't think it's fair.
Right?
It's because it's not. Well, it's not fair for 2 reasons. It's not fair to that episode because that episode is a piece of shit. Regardless, it's still not very good. It's not a good episode. Like it's not a piece of shit, but it's not a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a bad episode that if you ranked it with the other episodes, even from season 6, it drags them down by association.
Totally.
Right. And that's the shame.
Yeah.
Because like those episodes are so, like this, the episodes of the season are so bad. I don't want them to infect the other show with it. They're like disgusting, like lackadaisical procrastination, lazy script.
Quarantine. What is the worst episode of this season?
The one Report from the Grave. From the Grave with dude, it made no sense.
For me, it's I don't remember the title. Sorry. The Ewan McGregor episode.
Oh, Cold War.
I
thought you were going to say the Bob Hoskins one.
No,
that one's just offensive.
That one's just it's like meh.
Transsexual killer, no way.
Right,
that's original. Crying
Crazy.
Game. Sleepaway Camp.
But like the Ewan McGregor episode is like it makes no sense. It's just dumb, and like the influence of a post Tarantino world where we think like this dialogue of characters talking about bullshit in a super slick and hip way was a thing, and that I will never watch that again. And
to be fair, like the novelty of it is that, like now the novelty is a Ewan McGregor episode.
Yeah, that's the only sort of redeeming
thing.
But
at the time it wasn't the novelty because this is pre-Train Spotting.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's the same year as Train Spotting. So
right. So I mean, look, if you want to go back and see Ewan McGregor, like as a young man, a young actor, then definitely go see Shallow Grave.
Or Train Spotting.
Or Train Spotting.
Thing.
Yeah.
But Shallow Grave, probably more.
Yeah.
I've never seen Shallow Grave, but probably more. Like,
not only is that episode just terrible overall, but then you have Ewan McGregor doing an American accent really poorly. So
the hard R's.
Oh, God.
Over there.
Hey, over there, you ass bag. Like, oh, please stop. You're hurting.
Come
me.
over here so I can kick your ass.
Yeah.
Please. Ewan McGregor does not do a good American accent.
He might do one now, but at the time he sort of fell into that sort of British trap of the R over pronunciation.
Yeah, it's the Australians that can do the American accent.
Fucking A, they can. Perfect.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but
although you know what, honestly, a lot of English actors now can do it really well.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie, man, it still blows my mind when I found out Hugh Laurie was British.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya. I mean,
also,
he's basically Cockney, and I did at no time during that movie, the Get Out we're talking about, did I think he was anything less than American.
What's the John Boyega? Boyega. John Boyega. As much as I don't like those Star Wars movies, right. John Boyega's American accent is better than mine. Isn't that the bar? Like if you sound more like an American than I do,
yeah,
Yeah,
I can be mistaken for Canadian from time to time. And
well, it's the hair. It's the hair that gives it away.
Oh, is that it?
It's the Canadian hair. That very Canadian hairstyle.
It is. I'm off to Canada.
I don't blame you.
All right. Skip it. Skip it hard. Don't watch this.
Yeah.
Don't watch this season.
Don't watch any of this season. I think I'm actually with you. I don't think I want to give anyone any reason to watch this season.
Yeah. I mean, if you go in and think like, you know what though? There's some good people.
It's not as bad as I've heard.
Yeah. If you're a completist, like you love Kieran Hines so much that you have to see everything he's done, then go watch The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, because he's a young man in that, and he's unrecognizable, and it's a great movie. Don't watch the season rather. It's a trap. And I don't mean that in a memey way. I mean, it is literally, it's a slog of frustration. Trap. Yeah. And ultimate, it'll leave you aching with hunger for good stuff.
Yeah. Do you remember what so I want to point something out that's funny. So imagine this season imagine this, two scenarios. We were kind of talking about the first one at the beginning. Imagine if this season had not existed.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the show would have ended on? An equally fucking crazy episode.
Which one?
You Murderer.
Oh, You Murderer. Yeah.
Okay, let's ask ourselves this now that we're at the end of this show.
Yep. Would
that have been a better ending for the show? Or does this show deserve this season 7?
No show deserved the final season of Tales from the Crypt.
Is this last season of Tales from the Crypt worse than the worst season of TV you've ever seen? Because I have a show that's worse than this one. You'll probably defend it because you're a motherfucker sometimes.
What season of the show?
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. This
is just this is as bad.
But no, I don't know about that. This is much worse. This is much worse.
Oh.
There were moments of the final season that I really enjoyed of Game of Thrones. Even if you think like in the end it didn't amount to anything. There were still.
We like to say around here, it didn't amount to a hill of beans.
I don't like to say that.
No, I like to say.
Oh, okay. You said that.
Doesn't amount to a hill of beans, Elsa.
Is it the worst season? No, I don't think it's the worst season of any show. I mean, for me, if I had to pick a season of television where I just go, fuck you, that is the 3rd season of the television series Millennium, the Chris Carter show.
I thought you were going to say the 3rd season of Dexter.
No.
Where they were looking for Freebo.
Yeah, Freebo. Love Freebo.
It was Freebo, man. Yeah. Hey, man, what's that Freebo, man?
The worst season of Dexter is still 1,000 times better than this season of Tales from the Crypt. It's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Dude. It's unforgivable.
And I think is it because of the hill, like the mountain that it fell off? Because like that's the thing, right? Like because is that not the issue with TV in general? Is if the show is good and becomes bad. Unlike a good or bad movie, a good movie is kind of probably good throughout, maybe has some shitty moments, but it's still only 2 hours. A TV show is like 50, 60, 70 hours of TV. And when it's bad, it's like a sustained bad for like, I mean, this is what, 10 hours of TV that's bad? We watched 10 hours of just, or I guess like more like 5 hours of just like sustained garbage.
Yeah, and to sort of answer your earlier question, like, if the last episode of the entire series had been You Murderer, I would have been left with a notion like it's a shame they didn't get to go out in style.
Right.
And this season only tells me that they had no interest in doing that. So,
I was going to say they clearly didn't care about that.
Yeah. So
one iota.
Yeah. I mean,
they went out on an original animated episode.
It's funny because knowing we were going to be doing sort of a wrap up here, I'd like tried to make a list of favorite and least favorite episodes in the series. In the least favorite category is You Murderer. Like it's one of them. So
really?
Yeah. Only because of its pedigree. Like
sure.
Everyone there should have known better.
Well, and what was it? Walter Hill? No,
Zemeckis.
Zemeckis,
who was high on fucking digital manipulation thanks to Forrest Gump.
Let's do a whole 20-minute show about that.
I can say that I directed Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, no. Yeah, and they see that's
You sure can, can't you?
That's another part of it that sort of rankles why I put it as low down on the list. But you know what? It would have been a bad episode in a not great season and perfectly fitting for the end of the show. Definitely better than what we ended up getting. Because at least that had promise. Like there's, like, oh, if they'd only just done this or that, it could have been really good. I didn't, at no point this season that I think like, oh, that could have been better. Other than every one of them should have been better.
Yeah, and again, I mean, given the pedigree of some of the people involved, they should have been.
Yeah, man.
This season is such a drag, dude.
I do not like it.
It's debilitating levels of depression of how bad this. Like, it's so bad that you're just like, I never want to watch the show again.
Yeah, there was a book by Albert Camus called The Plague, where he wanted to posit the idea that evil isn't flashy and fun. It's actually slow and debilitating over time. So he wrote a slow and debilitating novel. And I always rankled at that. Like, why did you make, like, you could have proved your point without actually boring me. And that's what the season feels like. It feels like this insidious, like, chipping away of my fandom.
Intentional.
Yeah. Like,
we want you to hate the show.
That's the thing. If it had been that they were like, we're going to fucking punish people. And then they made this season. And then you find that out afterwards. It's like, oh, you cocksuckers. But at least there was a forethought to it. You know what I mean? Like, I could at least respect it instead of just the detritus. Like, I'm just here you go.
Isn't that essentially what the dudes from Game of Thrones did? Is admitted that they stopped caring about the show and just wanted the fans to hate it.
Did they say that?
I mean, didn't we see that on screen?
No, we did.
No fucking come.
No. I look, clearly those guys were fatigued and they wanted to finish one season instead of doing another whole season after that, which is what would have ameliorated the problems with that show. Like they sort of rushed to the end. I do agree with that. And I'm not defending the season overall. I think it's pretty bad, but particularly the characterization of Daenerys Targaryen. Like I have no problem with that character going nuts and fucking turning into a tyrant. Like it was,
but do it not in the last season of the show.
Yeah, man. Don't go from the reigning like revolutionary that we need to the other thing, like in the blink of an eye. Like, well, you lost a dragon. I guess that'll push you over the edge.
What? But before we're gonna keep expanding out in scale of the show. So we've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What is the best season of the show?
Wow. It's not the first season. The first season has the best episode.
It does, but the first season is too short to be the best season.
Yeah, it is.
There's 6 episodes?
6 episodes first season.
I think I have my answer, and I'm curious if my answer and your answer are the same.
It's probably 2. Season 2.
Oh, yeah. Season 2 for sure.
Season 2, where everyone sort of realized the potential from season 1, and we're striving toward it.
3's a crowd.
3's, yeah. I mean, look, man.
Cutting cards.
If you had put 3's a crowd in this in season 7, I might be saying season 7's the best season because.
Now it's that good.
I think so.
It is good.
Here's
regardless
a revelation
of what our friend Mike White says.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no.
The only person who ever guessed it on this entire show.
Did he not like 3's a crowd? No, he wasn't on 3's a crowd. He did.
He was on Cutting Cards.
Cutting Cards, which is a good episode.
I guess. Did we have Jess on this show?
I think so.
Did we have her on the bonus shit with? Creep
Yeah,
show?
it was the Creep Show evaluation.
Remember that?
Man, oh man! Did you watch that new season? See the new season?
No,
it's garbage.
Jess told me all about how bad it was.
It's real. It's like fan servicey bullshit. Like it's the first episode. Why are we talking about it? Anyway, no, I'm going to
talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it.
We're never going to get a chance to talk about it. Yeah, you're not going to get another chance. What other show? I mean,
if you watch the original movie Creep Show, there's a wraparound segment with Tom Atkins and young Joe King, where it's the sort of gruff father who throws his comic book away and
stop reading these dirty mags.
Yeah, and at the end you discover that the kid has sent away for a voodoo doll and he's using it on his father, so he gets revenge through the comic. And it's like it takes maybe 3 minutes entirely. Now let's take that 3 minutes and spin it out to a full half hour.
Oh God,
because that's all it is. It's kids surrogate father doesn't like the horror and thinks the kid's a freak, and we spend a
Bunch of-
half hour degradation of like, which I'm sure every horror fan has experienced that, you know, like when you bump up against people who don't like it, they're sort of like violently don't like it. But
I don't get it.
yeah, like there must be something wrong with you for liking this kind of a thing. Because they couldn't conceive of liking any of it.
Perverse, something so perverse and disgusting, like horror on screen, but I'll watch, CNN and everything else.
Right. And they cannot conceive of their own mortality, which is sort of what we're all doing. Like,
pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know. I'm right there with you.
We're all like, acclimating our systems to the poison, over time.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So the Creep Show thing, like they made a half hour version of that wraparound, and people are like losing their minds over it. That's the other thing. Like, and I find myself, sort of reacting to the reaction more than the thing itself. Like, because the thing itself was just like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not worthy of Creep Show. I really wish you would just call the show something else. But when I see fans like going,
can't make money.
Oh my God, this is such a delight. This examination of young horror fans. It's like there have been tons of those, and they've been done skillfully. Don't settle for this. Like,
you ever heard of Monster Squad, my guys?
Yeah, or Fright Night, or Friday the 13th Part 4, or there's anything by Joe Dante.
Pretty much.
So there's ways to sort of call back to those kids and who we used to be as young people, and maybe these people never had a nostalgia for it and they're getting it for the first time, and God bless them. But like, Creep Show's bad, man. It's just bad. Anyway, let's talk Tales from the Crypt, shall we?
Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
If Tales from the Crypt had come back, do you think it would be just like that?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's almost like, because that's one of the big questions here, right? Is this show, our podcast ends, but ostensibly it didn't have to. There was another show coming.
Yeah.
They had this isn't like the George Miller Justice League film starring apparently serial murderer Armie Hammer.
Is he now a serial murderer?
I don't know what he.
Wow, we've got that far.
We'll find out soon. He's 100% a cannibal, though. 100%. But it's not like that where it was like we got to see stuff, but like it was maybe coming, maybe not.
Yeah.
The Tales from the Crypt show was like they announced it. They had like a teaser for it, I believe.
No, that was a fan made thing.
Okay, that was a fan made thing, but they had announced it. M. Night Shyamalan said it's coming. Like,
the fact is, like, we're never
somebody was writing scripts. We know, that.
Yeah, we're never going to get George Miller's Justice League, but the potential exists very strongly that we'll get another Tales from Crypt series. As much as I think it might just end up being Creep Show, it does have a leg up in that the source material is a wonder. Like, there's a lot of dogs in the EC collection of stories, but there's a lot of really good ones that if somebody embraced and tried to make sort of relevant for 2021, then I think it has more of a chance than Creep Show. Creep Show is even more of an anthology crapshoot because they're not drawing from anything other than like, I read a story and it was kind of scary, so let's adapt that.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I watched enough of that new Creep Show to know that I'm not going to want to watch any more of it.
It's poorly done, and I got to say, like, whenever they sort of cut to a sort of callback to Creep Show itself by like doing splash pages, or like they'll throw in some crazy background behind the people, like this is a comic book. Like, it's done so inelegantly. Like, you watch that movie Creep Show, man. Every shot was considered, and with purpose sometimes, where like George Romero knew that if you rip somebody's face open and blood like pours like a fountain out of their head, you're probably going to run into an MPAA rule. But if you shoot it with red light, it just kind of looks like water. Yeah. And it's like this thinking of like, this will make this more like a comic book, which is what we're doing anyway, but it'll also achieve an end. There's no thought of that in the current show. It's just, they did an Evil Dead episode.
What?
The second episode of season 2 is an Evil Dead episode. The literal Necronomicon from Evil Dead is in there. The Deadites are in it. It's just like, what is happening here? Like, and of course, this is another situation where fans are like, oh, it's so cool. It's like, no, it's not cool. that series has a lot of movies you can go watch. It even had its own television series, which ran for how many years? Like, who was clamoring, well, we need a Creep Show version, 4 seasons. There you go. Like, no.
Three pretty good ones too.
Yeah. Like, it's so funny. Like,
3 good seasons of TV. Ash vs. Evil Dead is a good show.
I
for the first 3 seasons.
Right.
And then they went and rebooted the show in the 4th season. Straight up rebooted it.
Right. And now they're going to they're doing another movie. Like, it's ready to go. And like, if
honestly, like, I think Tales from the Crypt should stay dead.
Yeah. I mean, never say never. I think if
that's not a never say never. I just think it should stay dead.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Do you want to see it come back and be bad? And then have people come back and do retrospectives about how these episodes aren't that bad because of how bad the new shit is?
Here's what I'll say. Whatever they came up with would not be as bad as season 7. So that in and of itself,
so?
Yeah, I think that would be a
Creep
win.
Show season 2 as bad as season 7 of this show?
No, not at all.
Then you're probably right.
I think as much as I don't like what's going on Creep Show, you can tell it's made with love. You know what I mean? Like, there's at least some attempt at. Look, Greg Nicotero is one of the best makeup guys ever, but he's a terrible filmmaker. Like, it's not shot well. And, I don't know,
and
probably going to get in trouble with a bunch of fucking nerds right now. But you know what? Like, I knew Greg Nicotero, not personally, but I knew when he was Tom Savini's like 3rd assistant guy. So, there's nothing but admiration for him. But
except
that doesn't
for The Walking Dead.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, he had very little to do with that show. I think no. To start, that was Darabont's thing, and he hired KNB basically. And then as it wore on, his role, expanded,
ground its fan base down to a mealy pulp.
Right, but it's funny because it's like from the executive producer, it's like I could be an executive producer. You know what I mean? They want you to walk away sometimes in that scenario. We just talked about a Spike Lee movie. Like, I have a friend who made a movie called Tales from the Hood, which when it was advertised was from executive producer Spike Lee. And I approached my friend and I went, so what did he have to do with the movie? And he said, oh, we gave him $50,000 so he would put his name on it. Like, that was his level of involvement.
I didn't know that's how that worked.
Yeah, I never trust the executive producer credit as part of the creative process.
Do you think, okay, so another question. We're just working through the scenarios here.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
That was a thing that could have happened.
Sure.
Who now could take the reins and turn this into a competent show? Because I think M. Night's doing his own thing. M. Night's trying to save his own career. He literally brought his career back and then dashed it again.
Yeah.
With that fucking, what was it?
Glass.
You made Split. Like, Split is a great movie. Split should have won James McAvoy the Oscar that year. He was great.
Without the little tag at the end, it was a great movie. Like,
yeah, you didn't even need the tag to be a good movie. And then you went and fucked it all up. How did you double fuck your career, pal? How is that possible?
I think, when you, I don't know, man, like when you, I don't like fan casting and sort of fan, like, producing in a way, because I notice when people do it, they just tend to say whoever's popular at that moment. I don't know who the guy or girl or whoever would be to shepherd Tales from the Crypt, like, back into its former glory.
Because isn't that like the thing about Tales, that it has to have a shepherds, because that's what this show had. It had like a team of 5 guys.
Yeah, right. And but
we saw how well that turned out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the problem, right? Like, there are people working today, like, better. I don't know, because it's so weird. Like, we're at a point now where, like, you can point at people and go, they're good filmmakers, but it's not like there's somebody in a particular genre who I'm like, that's the king. You know what I mean? Like,
you're supposed to say Ari Aster, dude. Come on.
Yeah. In the 80s, like, you throw a rock and you were hitting a great horror filmmaker, people who were really invested in it. We had David Cronenberg, we had John Carpenter, and George Romero was working, Joe Dante and Tobe Hooper. Like, that's a lot of fucking people. Like, to a lesser degree, John Landis, who was always more interested in the sort of comedy, but understood horror better than most people. Like, he knew when to make things scary and more importantly, how to make them scary. Because if you put the short list of people who are considered horror filmmakers in front of me right now, I would say no to every single one of them. Like, they should not be doing this show, because the names would be Eli Roth or fucking Rob Zombie or Eli Roth or Rob Zombie or whatever the name of the guy is who did The Witch. If you like that movie, good for you. I thought it was
the guy also did The Lighthouse.
Yeah, ponderous, man. Ponderous. You know, people like complain about art house movies. This is the movie they're talking about, that Lighthouse movie. I actually fell asleep in the theater watching that movie.
Elevated horror, dude.
Yeah, elevate. Right, exactly. Because Can you
imagine Tales from the Crypt as elevated horror?
You know what? Honestly, I'd be interested to watch. I gotta say,
it feels like it would be a train wreck.
It'd be weird, right?
I mean,
it would be in a direction of somehow interest. You know what I mean? Like,
is it any less weird than them doing an animated episode?
No, it's no less weird than giving a season 7 or season 6 for that matter. Like, I think that, you know what? Here's who I would pick to run the show. Somebody who I would never pick to run the show. That's probably going to work out. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. You know what? You know who you should get to run the show? Maybe somebody like Joe King.
Yeah, who was
like a horror writer.
Yeah, man. He was supposed to
writer in.
He was supposed to run. They were rebooting Tales from the Dark Side, and he was put in charge. And I think he wrote the entire first season. And he was like, "I'm going to do this anthology series, but unbeknownst to anybody, they're actually all interconnected, and then it was going to pay off at the end of the season." Like little things, little subtle things. We're going to connect them all. So yeah, he'd be a great person. He's a really good writer, actually.
Yeah, Horns is a good book.
Yeah, Horns is good. Nosferatu was really good.
Yeah. Show not so much, but the book.
Yeah, but his short fiction is supreme, man. Just like his dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, that's like when I think about who I would want to run a show like this, I want someone who understands short horror fiction.
Yeah, and not just I understand short fiction. You know?
Because look, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if they do an original. If they do this show again, do they do original episodes with Tales from the Crypt episodes?
They should only do Tales from the Crypt episodes.
That would be a novel fucking idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if I was producing it, I would be like, we're drawing only from the source material. Nobody's writing their fucking passion project here and putting it in Tales from the Crypt form. And we're only choosing Tales from the Crypt comics. Like, that's it.
Because even the original show didn't.
Right.
Which in and of itself is fucking insane.
It is insane.
Because it was a running gag on this show.
Yeah.
That most of the time it was never a Tales from the Crypt comic.
Right. Yeah, it's weird that the rarity on Tales from the Crypt was that it was from Tales from the Crypt.
I don't know how many do you think ended up being from Tales from the Crypt? Like 10%?
Yeah,
one every season, essentially.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think. Yeah,
doesn't it?
What's funny is I don't think not one episode of the first season is a Tales from the Crypt episode. Like we did.
That's right. Yeah,
it wasn't until The Switch, the Arnold Schwarzenegger directed episode with William Hickey. Like that.
That's the first one.
I believe that's the first time it was an actual Tales from the Crypt comic book that they drew from.
That's so insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. And then the second one was cutting cards.
Yeah.
You know what? Season 2, like most of them are Tales from the Crypt. Season 3 has a fair amount. Season 4, no. Season 4 has 2. Season 5 has 4. Season 6 has 1. Season 7 has 2.
Shockingly, the seasons I like most are Tales from the Crypt heavy.
Yeah.
It's as if the people at EC knew what they were doing by segregating these stories into their own titles.
Yeah, because, some of them were action, some of them were thrillers, and some of them were horror. And when you're making the horror show, you make the horror stories.
Yeah.
It's not that I've never understood that about this show. I really haven't. It's a shame, dude.
Yeah, man.
So I guess the cat's already kind of out of the bag, but what is your, what's your favorite episode of the show?
For more than 30 years, my favorite episode of this show has been The Man Who Was Death. It is a towering achievement. It stands nearly at the top of the heap. However,
oh boy, are you fucking with me?
No.
I know what you're gonna say too.
Yeah, it's Three's a Crowd.
Yeah, I know.
I know. So fucking good in ways that Man Who Was Death is not. It actually is more horror, like what we were talking about, sort of the trappings of horror, that sometimes they dress it up in the werewolf cloak, and like that's enough. I don't think Walter Hill was coming at the show in a good enough way. I think he was making the best thing he could, but that thing ain't scary. It doesn't really get under your skin. It's a nice ironic twist told very well by a very charismatic lead actor, and one of the tightest, most economical, that's a word I use a lot now, economical, because I really admire when somebody can get something across very quickly. But like The Man Who Was Death, no doubt one of the best. I was on the floor at the end of Three's a Crowd. It is such a good example of what a twist should be, and not just for the sake of it. It's actually startling. The episode is good all the way through. All the performances are good. It's just, it's if somebody were to say to me now, give me one episode of the show from Tales from the Crypt to sample it, I'd give them Three's a Crowd. I would say Man Who Was Death is a good follow-up, but Three's a Crowd's my thing now.
I don't know if that scenario is the one I would use Three's a Crowd. Because if someone watched that episode and knowing what they know about this show, they might be disappointed.
Maybe.
Because their expectations are set by the Crypt Keeper at the beginning of the show.
Right.
The Crypt is this a thought experiment? Does the Crypt Keeper not actively work against this show? Like, doesn't it kind of feel like the Crypt Keeper as a character actively works against this show being successful? Because your expectations are, this is a show with a fucking rotting corpse as the host, and you have some episodes that don't even seem to exist in the same universe as the fucking wraparound guy.
The answer is yes. It's.
You think anyone has ever thought that? You think that's a thing anyone thought about when they were making this show?
No, they thought.
Is that too high level? Are we thinking too high level here?
They thought about the fact that the character is supposed to be a sort of pressure release valve. He's supposed to make you feel okay about the horror you're about to see and the horror you just saw. And when the episodes are actually scary or startling or thought-provoking, he works well in that way. When it's not those things, then it's just like, I'm a jokey guy and here's a jokey show. And so I
don't even need to be a corpse. Like, me being a corpse is unimportant. Actually feels like it's not even like, why is a corpse outroing this show?
Right. And the funny thing is, going back and reading all the comics, like, I would always hear like, the Crypt Keeper, like he always had these hilarious puns and whatever. He's not funny. He's not. His purpose in that comic is misremembered by everyone who read it when they were little. Like, he's not there to like hold your hand and make you feel better about anything. He's there to show you that this is a bad thing, and he still finds it amusing. You know what I mean? He wasn't there. He's not there to entertain us. And the Crypt Keeper's primary function after the first season kind of became jokey, just like every sort of horror icon, like Freddy Krueger wasn't cracking wise in Nightmare on Elm Street. He was a scary fucking nightmare from hell. And then
until 3.
Yeah. Then he kind of started in part 2, like a little bit jokey, but by part 3, it was just like
part 2 was.
He's a joke machine.
Yeah. Part 2 was just like, let's just break the conventions of this series by having him in the real world.
Right. And that's fine. But it is closer to the spirit of the character initially, but
then Freddy wearing sunglasses and rocking a NES Power Glove.
Yeah, well, that's part 5. I think
I'm well aware which part it is, but it's still the same character problem.
Yeah, I know. No, and that's the problem with the Crypt Keeper, where it's. I don't know that I ever laughed one time.
No,
at the Crypt Keeper's jokes.
No, the Crypt Keeper's like, to me, what the Crypt Keeper was like, I was always trying to stay ahead of the Crypt Keeper to see where his puns were going.
Right.
Right. Like, that's, I'm sure you did too. Like, you're not going to laugh, but you're like, where is he going? Like, what's going to be the gag?
But hearing how hilarious he is in retrospect from people means to me that they have a base interest in the show. They saw a couple episodes and they've seen
the like YouTube something.
Yeah, and they think it's funny that there was a corpse making jokes, I guess.
That is all anyone remembers from this show, dude.
They really do. It's just him.
Is that fucking nuts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think.
Well, I mean, perfect segue. Let's talk about Crypt Keeper based stuff.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, because that's another thing. I mean, that leads into this, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that? I mean, like Crypt Keeper everything. Crypt Keeper vinyl, Crypt Keeper poster, Crypt Keeper soundtrack, Crypt Jam.
All quality stuff.
The Crypt Keeper pinball machine's good. As a pinball fan, you and I both know the Crypt Keeper pinball machine's good.
I'm not going to argue, but any pinball game ultimately is pretty good. As long as it just doesn't, shoot your ball directly into the.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if you get a few moments of flipper action,
That's fair.
It's a win.
I would like to sit. I sometimes have games of pinball that last for an hour, so I would like to have a game that's a little bit more intriguing than that. But yeah. I understand where you're coming from. But the Crypt Keeper's like the fucking thing, like you've already said. He's the money making face of the project.
Yeah. And even though he doesn't I'd necessarily belong to those guys, here was the only chance to merchandise it,
oh yeah, how else?
Nobody was making fucking Rod Serling ashtrays, though they should have.
Yeah. Imagine, if you will,
yeah,
this ashtray. You put your cigarette out in it.
Because Rod Serling is just as identifiable for that show as Crypt Keeper was for here, but
I 100% agree.
But in the case of the original Twilight Zone, there are enough good episodes that I don't. And he was so serious about them that he's not the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the Twilight Zone. I think about the quality of the shows themselves,
sure.
and then of course he's interlinked as the Crypt Keeper is here. But I don't think we needed him, honestly.
The Crypt Keeper,
yeah.
I mean, I will say I like John Kassir, so I can't.
I do too. I'm not.
And then there's no place for John Kassir on this show without that.
Right.
I will.
I'm not saying he should never have been there. I'm just saying they should have been more consistent with him, or actually been funny.
Well, here's the thing that we had mentioned a couple times, and it really rears its ugly head here at the end. And I realize my eyes are super red. Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
You remember how we complained? It was probably like season 5 or 6 about them doing gags with the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
That made no sense in context of the episode. Like,
right.
He's going to space. Like,
why?
This ain't a Mars episode. They're not going to space.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And they kept doing that. And then in the final episode of the show, they do a Tales from the Crypt bit with the Crypt Keeper, and it sucked.
Oh, the bat and the Dracula, like you want to write for this show thing?
No, the thing at the end of Crypt, Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah.
The last the show, the final episode's wraparound is like, oh, we found a new intern to work on the show.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, but look, by then I'd given up caring. So it's not like
but it's
all part and parcel,
It was weird. They had the opportunity to do the Crypt Keeper Tales from the Crypt, like the two meeting, and it's just like, nope.
No, it seemed
just hang a lantern on it, I guess.
Yeah, it seemed to me that early on, like this is like any writing staff, right? Like you got the ones who are doing the bulk, like you got the showrunner, and then you have the sort of more trusted ones underneath him who are writing the majority of the stuff, and then you have other writers who are in it, and they tend to just give those guys the fucking grunt work. Like if you get hired as a writer on The Simpsons, I guess I guarantee you for the first year you're writing couch gags and chalkboard slow sayings, And
well, don't forget this show has like 15 intro gags now.
Right.
I love Bob's Burgers.
Right. So Bob's Burgers, like the same thing. Somebody's got to come up with the exterminator joke in the store next door that is no longer their joke. Showing that there's a hierarchy basically in the writers. So somebody is just writing Crypt Keeper gags. And it's at some point on the show, clearly they were now we're just writing gags, where it did seem early enough that they were like, what's the episode? Okay, now I'll write this Crypt Keeper thing. And then I think by seasons 5, 6, 7, like it was just all stuff that they had written, and it was all coming out of the trunk, and we got to do something with it. We wrote it, we paid for it, let's use it. Much to the detriment. I know we probably said this before. It's by the end, it doesn't really matter. But as far as the first season, the Crypt Keeper was scary. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%. I'm
he's
right there with you.
disturbing. And if that had carried over for the rest, it would have only enriched the show as far as I'm concerned. And that's my final thoughts on the Crypt Keeper, everybody.
Yeah.
Make everything scarier.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's the problem with the show in general as a whole. Like, it's just, it needed to be more horror. It's not a horror show.
No, it's
it's not. Like, and I know that's going to make some people really angry. I think that's probably the most controversial opinion that we may come to, is this not a horror show?
It has a lot of ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties, but I don't think anyone was interested in using them in a way that would do anything other than give us a twist or something. Like, it, you know what, man, I like horror that isn't necessarily the most disturbing, but I know that they're trying. You know what I mean? And there's ways to make there's ways to make horror that it's a scary film and it isn't like crawling under your skin and like making you like fear the dark or anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways there's ways to appreciate horror on kind of not necessarily a surface level, but like a level that isn't trying to disturb, but you still you still know the intent behind it is to scare you at least a little. And I don't think these people ever had any intention of scaring anybody. I think Zemeckis tried in the first season with And All Through the House. I know you don't like that episode, but I know he was trying.
I will agree that it was a try for sure.
Yeah, like he was trying to establish a mood and like work towards something.
And From Dusk Till Dawn and The Frighteners are scarier than Tales from the Crypt, and those are both essentially rejected Tales from the Crypt scripts.
Yeah, and those are like action movies. But that's perfect. That's a perfect example. Like, that's the kind of scripts that they were getting. Like people who don't understand
The Frighteners
horror.
Is scary.
I think it has a.
I know you're not a fan. I know you're not a fan.
It's more actiony than anything. You know what I mean? Like, there are parts. There are parts of Aliens that are scary, but it's not a horror movie. It's a fucking action movie, and people.
Yeah, Demon Knight's really not a horror movie, is it?
Not at all, man. There's nothing scary in that movie. We've already talked about it.
It just adds to the legend of this show. I mean, look, that's the thing about this show. Like, the weird thing about this show is, it has the show, and then it has the movies, and then it has the children's cartoon, and then it has the children's TV show, and then it has Two-Fisted Tales, and then it has Perversions of Science.
Yeah.
And then it has The Frighteners and From Dusk Till Dawn, which are, technically movies that...
They were developed for Tales from the Crypt. So,
yeah.
Even though they kind of became their own thing.
And Ritual is technically not even a Tales from the Crypt script to begin with, but became one.
Yeah, exactly.
And like all of that adds to Tales from the Crypt being this weird show. It's a weird thing to me.
It's, yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, all I can say about the show in a summing it up kind of a way here is that when it worked like goddamn gangbusters. And I don't even want to say there's nothing like it, because you know what? Like,
there was so many other things.
Yeah.
And so many other things did this so much better. Twilight Zone 1985, some of those first season episodes butt fuck this show into the ground.
Oh, yeah, man. Like
I like The Man Who Was Death, but is The Man Who Was Death better than Wordplay or Shatterday?
Not.
It's in the same kind of class, so that's probably a bad example.
Right. It's a different animal, and I do think if I had seen Wordplay as a Tales from the Crypt story, it would be like one of the best Tales from the Crypt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
They would add their own flair to it.
Yeah. They'd probably give you a reason why it was happening.
Well, that's Tales from the Crypt for you.
Yeah, there'd be a big twist at the end where now everybody refers to lunch as dinosaur. I don't know.
It's one of those things where, like you said, you could say that there's nothing like it, but there was.
Yeah, there was
so many other things.
And not only just because it's an anthology series, and there have been other anthology series that are good, if not better. The fact is, I think what shined the light on this whole possibility was Creepshow, the George Romero, Stephen King ode to EC Comics, which people have their own favorites or least favorites of the 5 tales presented in that. But to me, all of them are really good. Like, it's a perfect Tales from the Crypt, even the Tales from the Crypt movie, you know, from 71, like understood the horror more. You know what I mean? It like a lot of what was supposed to be scary is kind of corny now, 40, nearly 50 years later, but goddamn, they were trying, right?
Well, in that original,
I can't fault effort.
Was it the second movie that had the Peter Cushing story?
No, that's Tales from the Crypt.
Okay, that story is probably the best Tales from the Crypt story we watched.
It is 100% the best filmed adaptation of the Tales from the Crypt property.
Yeah,
it's
in the fucking movie.
Yeah, it's exactly what Tales from the Crypt was meant for, which is, you know, real characters, horrible situations, and supernatural saving the day.
Yeah,
in a horrifying manner.
Yeah, supernatural has to save the day, but it is awful.
Yeah,
it's awful in a way that you can't even comprehend until you watch it.
What's your favorite? Is it still Man Who Was Death?
I think so.
Yeah,
I like
unassailable.
I like Three's a Crowd a lot. I would say that it's 1 and 1, you know, 1A and 1B really. Like, you know, Three's a Crowd is one of those episodes that I remember when I watch it and I forget about it every time after, but not this time. You know, I've forgotten about it every other time I've watched it, but for some reason this time I haven't forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Oh, it's because it's fucking amazing. That's why.
Right.
Because it has such a horrifying finale that like it's a finale you could find yourself in.
Totally.
Very rarely do these shows have a point where you're like, I could see myself in the lead character's position and I see why he made the decisions he made, and they're not undefensible. It's
funny because I'm said it too many times. Like, you know, for me, the best that EC had to offer were ones that trafficked in supernatural. And my two favorite episodes of the series are not supernatural in any way.
No, not at all.
So they kind of got no excuse. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. And look, the two episodes that we like the most, they don't even have the flashiest people in them. Gavin O'Herlihy.
Yeah, I think that's to the benefit of the show. Like that's one of those things that I hate when like a show gets popular, where everyone just wants to come play in the sandbox now. You know what I mean?
Which they did.
Yeah,
they did on this show,
and it was nothing but distracting.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's directing the second episode of the second season of this show.
Yeah, and you know I get him doing it at least because him and Joel Silver go back. Like it makes more sense than someone like, well, I guess Michael J. Fox and Zemeckis
and Tom Hanks and fucking Zemeckis. I was going to say you could make those statements, but all of a sudden, like,
yeah, it all makes sense that they're all sort of buddies and like, hey, come do one of these.
Yeah, I mean, some of the people I don't get, but like, oh yeah, the buddies of that group, like, oh yeah, for sure. So I guess the biggest question to ask is, would you suggest someone else watch this show?
Yeah. I would warn them.
Yeah. That feels like part and parcel now. Like it needs it. Like Star Trek TNG levels, right? Like nobody suggests you watch TNG without saying like the first season is fucking garbo. Like the first season of the show is actively bad. Gene Roddenberry was a terrible person. He made the show terrible for that first season, but after that first season, it becomes amazing.
That's a good example. It kind of worked in reverse here, but
totally 100% in reverse.
Not really an old story where something starts out and it's great and then just kind of grinds down to nothing. I would absolutely. There's nothing that happened in the last couple of seasons that can diminish my appreciation of the good ones from the first couple. Even, you know, if anything, it's only sort of amplified my appreciation for episodes that I was maybe too hard on, like at the start. Like, you know, you start.
You should have watched this show in reverse.
Yeah, man. If you start with Man Who Was Death, like you set the bar pretty fucking high. You know what I mean? Like I'm expecting that every week, and when we weren't getting that, I was like, this isn't good. This isn't good. Don't watch this. I got to say, man. I think it is a good idea to maybe a couple of years sort of reevaluate, because if you put up most of the episodes that I told people to skip from the first couple of seasons, I guarantee you they're all better than what we ended up with.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, that's the thing I keep thinking about here is like so many of the episodes where I was like, these are okay. But like, I remember them being better. Like the really good ones are so infrequent.
Yeah. But
when they hit so hard that they almost make you forget everything else.
Exactly. And, that's a sort of selective amnesia that
That's a strong high, dude. That's a strong high.
I will take to my grave the fact that, Three's a Crowd, Man Who Was Death of Some Salesmen. I'm just reading my
Cutting
list
Cards.
now. Cutting Cards is great. And for me, and All Through the House is pretty great. For crying out loud, like
that's
irreverent.
Lee Arenberg.
That's a good one. Television Terror with fucking
Morton Downey Jr.
Man, there's an episode that was their whole idea was like, let's fucking scare the shit out of these viewers by the end.
What about What's Cooking?
I was just about to say What's Cooking is the other one where it's like not necessarily. I mean, it's really good. I don't want to say anything negative about it.
It's really good, but it's not scary. But it's good.
It's not scary, but it is kind of repugnant. And that, if you can't scare them, gross them out, right?
Yeah.
God, what is the
your list is getting shorter the longer we go into the season.
I know. Ease'll Kill You. I know you weren't that stoked about that one. That was the Tim Roth Painter one. I liked that.
Is that the Tim Roth ending?
Yes, they
Yes. Curb Your Enthusiasm ending.
Yeah, I still think the twist was good for that one.
You've killed the doctor.
Killed the doctor who's going to save your girl. Oh, I liked it.
Again, I'll take it over everything we just saw in season 7.
I liked Yellow. I know
more of a movie than an episode.
It is more than a movie than an episode, but I think it's well done. I like the twist. I like that. You're not a war person, but for me, like of war movies, World War I is very rarely the subject, and when it is, it's always so like horrific. Like, no, I'm not saying that war is like fun and we should be pointing out its good side or anything, but like it's always too heavy. And I think Lance Henriksen is awesome in it, and it's got Kirk Douglas. Come on. I have written down, and now I can't remember what the episodes are, but Strung Along I wrote down as like sort of teetering on the edge of really good. And
Strung Along.
Yeah. Split Second is another one that I think is actually pretty good. That's the one with the logging one with Billy Wirth.
Yeah.
And yeah. Like that one's good. So look, what
this? You know what this show needs? Like you know what this show needs? Like a second lap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you need to we have to make like it's like one of these shows where it's like you got to watch it again to be like, okay, all the stuff that I thought was really bad.
Yeah.
It turns out was like actually a lot better than I thought in retrospect.
But I like went through the list of things today, and I have 13 episodes that I can say are good and you should watch no matter what.
Lot.
It's one season.
That's a lot.
If that had been just season 1, I would say, well, season 1 and nothing. Yes, it is a lot. It for an anthology show, it's a lot to recommend it. Like I've said this also before, like people lionize the Twilight Zone because when it was good, it was fucking great. But go back and try. I've tried. I mean, I don't know. I still even love the bad ones, but
there's a lot. But
the true gems. It's a handful. And that show ran for like 5 seasons, and each season had like 24 episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's what I mean. There's a lot of show to get through too.
Yeah.
But like you just said, though, that's the thing about these anthology shows. Like, unless you're talking full season anthology, a la American Horror Story, which has its own problems. Yeah, the problems it has are many and varied. That's the way these shows go, I guess. And we're finding this out. We're finding this out the hard way on this show and on Dreams for Sale.
Yeah. Although
they're mirroring
Dreams for Sale like keeps surprising me. Like,
but Dreams for Sale has also had some real fucking clunkers.
It had. We're talking about the Twilight Zone '85, by the way.
Sorry,
yeah.
It has had some real clunkers.
There was no series called Dreams for Sale, but there was an episode. Yes, there have been. Look, man, you know me. I hate melodrama and saccharine kind of things, and more often than not, that's the clunker for me on that show. But it's a perfect example of an anthology series in that some of them ain't going to be great, but some of them are going to be awesome, which is why I love this show. Now, I do want to take this opportunity to list my least favorite episodes of the show.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Ready? Undertaking Parlor.
Undertaking Pallor.
Right. It's so bad I can't even remember the name correctly.
Undertaking Pallor. That's
Goonies meets fucking,
John Glover. What a waste.
Oof. So bad. Don't watch it. Really awful. On a Dead Man's Chest.
Oh yeah.
The tattoo comes to life.
Tia Carrera episode.
Oh William Friedkin directed that steaming pile of trash.
I know. Billy Friedkin, as we call him in the industry.
The Pit.
Mark Dacascos.
Who I love. What was that? Why was that an episode? What was this MMA nonsense? Suddenly with no payoff, no twist, really?
Their wives are fighting.
Oh, hooray. Showdown.
Wild West.
I'm totally down with a fucking horror in the Wild West. This was not a horror in the Wild West. This was kind of a ghosty thing, and it's not from Tales from the Crypt. It's from Two-Fisted Tales, the pilot that they attempted to make a new series on, and it's based on nothing.
The only other original episode in the show.
Right, which it can piss up a rope as far as I'm concerned.
It's just as bad as the other original episode.
Yeah. You murderer?
Oh.
Don't use my television series
murderer, sir.
To, further what you think you can do in cinema. Wouldn't this be a lark? I whatever your intention. You know what? I love Sherilyn Fenn, and I could watch her for a half an hour. I'd probably watch it again just based on her, but it's garbage. And finally, my other, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I have not included anything from season 7 because what would be
it's just all bad.
It's all bad. But these are like, oh, why was this bad? The last one is Revenge is the Nuts. That's the one with the blind people.
Terry Polo.
Yeah.
Why did Dead Weight not make your list? Because I only picked one.
Dead Weight?
Dead Weight was my least favorite. That was like the James Remar episode.
Oh, that's so he's a redhead, right? Yeah. Like, oh, it's so mysterious. You're a redhead. Voodoo.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh yeah. That.
How did you like that? I legit thought that when we talked about that episode, we were both gonna come back to it as the worst of the show because it is the worst of the show.
We got some zombie action in there, though, right?
Remember when he just gets decapitated?
Oh, right.
There's no zombies in that one. I don't think.
The dream stuff is pretty. You're right. Damn it.
I don't know how you forgot that one. It's like the abjectly worst one.
Why would I remember it?
I mean, I don't blame you.
I don't know that.
I remember when we talked about it.
Is it the worst one? Honestly,
I remember when we talked about it, how much we both disliked it. It was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Plus James Remar.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I love James Remar, so I'm not putting that on my list of the absolute worst. What is the absolute worst one? On a dead man's chest.
It's pretty bad.
On a dead man's chest.
Tia Carrere is not a great actress either.
She's a terrible actress. I don't know. I never understood her. I mean, I get it. She's a pretty girl. Who cares? Like
you're pretty. We got it.
Yeah, that and 50 cents will get you nothing these days.
Pretty much. What a show, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Overall, I'm glad to have revisited it. I think as bracing as it could be sometimes to realize the lack of commitment by the creators. When it worked, fuck man, it worked so good. Yeah. I'm still gonna, I don't know that I'm gonna go watch it again anytime soon, honestly. But
Man Who Was Death.
Yeah, the episodes we mentioned, like those come on, and you know what? Here's only skin deep, not only sin deep, not the first season Leah Thompson one, but only skin deep with the girl with the mask. Like,
oh yeah,
like I don't think it's the greatest episode, but it was really trying. It was really trying to push. It was trying to get you there.
Trying more than most episodes in season 6 were.
Yeah, so like even that I put it like one of the better ones. So overall, great series. Is it a great series? No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's good.
It's good. It is good. It's solidly good.
Yeah, but when it really gets going, it gets going. But the problem is the goods are never so sustained to outweigh how sustained the bad gets. A whole season of a show being bad is if that wasn't the final season of the show, it was the second to last one for most shows. No, season 6, and then they did season 7. Like, I don't understand it. Season 6 wasn't very good either.
Yeah, I don't want to pile on the later portions of the show anymore. I'm glad we're done with it.
Yeah.
Because of the position they put us in. I'm glad we're done with it. But good God, Man Who Was Death.
I know.
I'm saying.
I know.
Man Who Was
I
Death.
know. Yeah, there's so much good stuff. So much good stuff.
Even the ones that I think, were passable skip or like soft watches, like those are still fun. You're not going to, you're not going to really waste your time for 20 odd minutes watching some of them. Avoid everything we told you to really avoid.
And like there's 15 good episodes and there's 93 episodes overall. So it's about 10%.
What a terrible record. Jesus. Why did you say that?
I know it's bad.
Trying to sing some praises here.
I mean, but that's 15 of the best. There are a lot in there that like some people are going to have very differing opinions on, and they'll be close, but in the other direction. You have an opportunity, if this ever sort of streams, then I think we've given you a solid list of Tales from the Crypt episodes that you should be investing your time in. I would also encourage you to go back and watch the Amicus production from 1971, the Tales from the Crypt movie. Really good. Vault of Horror, not as good, but still got some good stuff in it. Yeah. Here's something I don't think I've said enough on the show. Go back and read the fucking comics. What's wrong with you? They're all available. I mean, you can get them on the internet. You can get them online. And not only are you getting 9 times out of 10 a superior story, adaptation, original version of an adaptation you've seen on the show. Yeah, you're also getting a wealth of really great artwork by a lot of really talented people who would go on to inform you in ways that you probably can't even fathom. Like, once you dig into what these guys ended up doing. God bless Al Feldstein. Marvel and DC, all of these guys ended up over there, like there was no way they couldn't. People like Jack Davis and Graham Ingalls and oh my God, I'm going to blank on all of them. Seem like a fool right now. But Jack Kamen, oh, Jesus Christ, so good. Even, people like, God, what's his name? Created Mad Magazine. He started out in Tales from the Crypt. I can't believe Oh, really? Yeah. Alfred E. Newman? Yeah, Alfred E. Newman, the very same fucker. I mean, it's not surprising. And I'm looking it up. I advocate your decision 100%. Yeah, go read the comic books, man. They're so good. I guess thanks for listening. Ultimately, if you actually listen to all of this, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. They have Mr. Canadian now. Yeah, that's why people got the Canadian hair. He's got the Canadian hair. They're gonna think you're Canadian. Yeah, thanks for listening. Really, like that was the one thing the show didn't do. It was like, thanks for being a fucking viewer. It's just like later, fuck off. Yeah. Ignominious to the end. We don't give a fuck about you. Fuck off. Bye. It's like, okay. We cast the check. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. I don't want to leave on that. No. I do want to say one more time. Good show. Yeah. When it works awesome. Mm-hmm. And you kids out there, what you're getting for horror these days, it's pretty good, but sometimes maybe take a look back in unusual places and stop adhering so much to the Crypt Keeper and lionizing him as the only thing that was good about that show, because a lot of really talented people put in a lot of good effort. And I don't want to watch the show again anytime soon, but I know I'm going to watch these same 10, 12, 15 episodes. And I'll enjoy them just as much as I did initially. And I'm right there with you. The ones we've talked about are good. Again, this show, I mean, it's 93 episodes. We're here at the end. We're 50 something episodes at the end. It's over. The show's over, and again, like you said, I don't want to rewatch the show in its entirety ever again, probably at this point. Yeah. Given that I've watched it all the way through now 3 times and a half time as well. So 3.5. And look, if you're a fan of the show, you've probably watched it a lot more than I have. But if you're a fan of the show, you're maybe not as critical as we've been. Don't go out on an insult. No. I'm just saying, like, there you may be able to get over some of the stuff that we can't. Right. There are shows that I like, and I know it's bad, and I'm just like, I don't care. It represents something else to me, and I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And frankly, again, I understand why us being critical of the show, of something you love, may be upsetting, but at the same time, our hope is that there is another show or something else in the future. And our hope is that the next show that comes out gives the people who are making the show the best chance to be successful as possible. Yeah. And you have to be critical of things for people to make good things. People don't just make good things in a vacuum. Sometimes people need to know what to avoid and what not to avoid. And they need to look back at the show and be critical, because at the end of the day, we can't just let okay be okay. I mean, that was the thing about this show where it was like, it's just okay. And it's like, okay is just okay, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to rest on okay. So
you don't have to stick, like every sitcom, like, somebody gets a funny line and now they're just going to say it over and over again. And that's the joke. It's like, don't do that. Don't be better than that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. But the show, the show made a lot of waves, and the show is a horror anthology series. So those horror anthology series are few and far between.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be a lot more lately.
Yeah.
Thanks to the web.
They're like full season ones now. Right. Which is not the same as this.
Yeah. Don't do that. Stop doing that.
No. Yeah.
Nobody needs that. Your story is not interesting enough for 12 episodes. Just do an anthology correctly.
Yeah.
Pick your source material well. And if to anyone, if you're listening to this and you're one of the people who's going to spearhead the next version of Tales from the Crypt, I'm also going to adhere to, or sort of admonish you to please go back and read the original source material and make it better. Make it better. That's all.
Yeah. So, Father Malone, where can people find you?
You can find me over at fathermalone.com. That's links to all of the crazy stuff I do, including my podcast, Dark Destinations, which is a half-hour radio drama that I write and produce. You can also find the links at fathermalone.com. I'm plugging it twice for not only this show, but the other show we mentioned, which is Dreams for Sale, the Twilight Zone 85 podcast that Chris and I do with the Projection Booth's Mike White.
And that show is coming to an end pretty quickly, too. Yeah, don't tell anyone. Yeah, that's another show that just...
I'm enjoying it.
It's running to the end at a downhill plod. So as for me, you can find me on the internet at Christmas Claus on Twitter. Culturecast is another show I do. It's about movies and scary stories we tell. Is a show that I do about scary stuff. Weird, I know. Scary stories we tell. It's in the title. Yeah. As for us, we don't know what we're doing next.
Who knows? Sky's the limit.
Another horror anthology, please, said no one. Said no one. But we don't know what we're doing next. So we haven't really talked about it. But as soon as we know, we'll make it public on our Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And this podcast will sit and be there forever. So there you go. One last John Kassir intro to take us to the end, eh?